Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, I'm Scott Carson, your host. Excited to be here this afternoon. And I have to tell you, we've got an amazing guest that's going to drop some nugget bombs on all of our heads today out here. She is an amazing lady. I was very honored to be introduced to her through some mutual friends. And I think she's got some great stuff to share with you today. I'm talking about the one, the only Kelley Resendez. She's a mom, a business executive, best-selling author, and influencer. She loves helping others with strategies to overcome self-sabotage and find more joy. She's author of the new and already popular book, Big Voices, is also founder of the movement. The book is named for Big Voices, a woman-empowered network. Kelley is passionate about helping people increase joy, reduce suffering, and learn to think differently. Her own journey has helped her create the strategies and tools that she shares throughout her books. Currently, she is the executive vice president of Paramount Partners Group, which is a division of Loanpal. She uses the same concepts of mindfulness, self-discovery, and goal setting to help those in the mortgage and real estate industries create a successful business. Good morning, or is it good afternoon, Kelley?
I think it's right in between, Scott. I am so excited to be here with you and all of your listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're just honored to have you. And it's such a small community, I think, out there. I think you were on Tracy's podcast a while back, Tracy Hazard with Feed the Branches. I had dinner with her and Tom and Cindy. Oh my God, you got to have Kelley on your show. And then you and I exchanged emails, and on the phone I was like, oh, perfect fit for the Note Closers group. So why don't we, besides what I just introduced her, anything else you want to add a little about who Kelley is?
You know, to be honest with you, I'm just like everyone else that's out there that has struggled to maintain success, balance, and joy simultaneously. And that's really what led me to be able to create this world where I can impact other people's lives, because so many of us think that it's ours. You know, we have to be financially, successful, or have an amazing relationship, or be healthy, or be this. And I'm just here to tell everybody, like, you can create whatever life you can imagine, and you need more ands in your life.
That's a great thing. Get rid of the ors and add the ands. I love that. I think a lot of entrepreneurs really do struggle with that, because we're so kind of center focused. We got blinders on everything. We put our health on the back burner until we get, I'll work out more once I close these deals or close these numbers or go from there. And it doesn't have to be that way, right?
It doesn't. But, I think that society programs us to believe, like, if only. And coming out of the generation that you and I did, I mean, it was always about, if only I was retired, then I could start enjoying life. If only I did this. And that's where, we all have to just take a step back and say, we really can have it all. We just have to put the intention behind it, create a plan, identify what help we need, and start executing.
I love exactly what you said. Come up with a plan and start executing. You and I were talking a few minutes before we started about how it's, the end of October, and I was asking, hey, how's it going over there? Is it crazy being in the loan business? Because as an ex-mortgage broker, I knew these last couple of days, always calling people, trying to figure out stuff closing. And you said something that was really good. You were like, hey, we're trying to figure everything, get everything rock and roll, so we're not so crazy in October. So November is even a better month. You want to talk a little bit about numbers this time of year in the mortgage industry? Because I think it's important, because we're in the mortgage, we're just on the opposite side a little bit different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think that when you're in a cyclical industry where people believe that there's seasonality to success, that we have the ability not to accept that. Mm-hmm. We can challenge the norm. We can go up against what things have always been and create a new reality for ourselves. And I think that we just need to be strategic about how we build our business. My book, Foundation to Sustainable Success, which is for mortgage professionals and people that are really looking to build a long-term real estate business. It's about strategy. And where I see this be a big issue is that most people are in a mode of scarcity, which means I need to hold on to everything I've got right now and get paid, without thinking about this longer funnel. So if something rolls over to the next month, it actually setting you up to be in a greater state of abundance. And so you've got to reprogram how you think and prioritize what's really going on so that you have a consistent stream of opportunity. And for most people that are in our industry, Scott, the reality is that we haven't focused on the number one priority, which is really client acquisition. We need to be in client acquisition mode every single day of the month. And when we get so focused at the end of the month on closing the business that we already have, we forget to create the business that we don't have yet.
That's so true, because it's like almost kind of like this. It's like a seesaw. We're going to acquire stuff and then we got to close it out. We're going to acquire, close it out, because I close all these. Oh my God, I got to go back in and restart that whole engine up again, versus having it run consistently throughout the month or quarter or whatever your numbers are, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's how it feels to somebody that's going through it. I think the way that it feels to somebody is actually like jumping out of a plane and having your parachute not open. They feel like I'm dying all over again every single month. Like, I look at it, so many people describe it as a roller coaster. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't say that, because a roller coaster, you know that there's going to be an ending and you're going to be able to get off the ride. You don't get to get off this ride. Like, it is going to be forever unless you build a sustainable business model for yourself. And you can't do that unless you really have created funnels of opportunity. You can measure the conversion rates. And the minute that the market slows down, which is what happened to us in the last couple of months, we know our conversion rates went down. So now we have to add more opportunity to the top of the funnel. And I've got to know how to do that. Like, who are the partners and referral, people that can reach me and give me more opportunity? Do I need to expand that and really get in front of it? So we have an opportunity to change that.
That's huge out there. It totally great ideas about reaching out, especially in our line of work with distressed mortgages. A lot of people will slough off, oh, I'll just get started on the first of the year. I'll send that email later. And I'm like, no, now's the most important time to be sending it, so that you're not struggling come the first of the year to rebuild that wheel. You've got stuff and leads and deals that you're ready to rock and roll on, right?
Yeah. And that's just normal human pattern behavior. And I think, I look at my 13-year-old son, procrastinator, like from the moment he wakes up, like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to take a shower. And it's like, it's not actually getting out of bed or taking a shower. It's our thoughts about it. And that's where, the strategies that I introduce, especially in Big Voices, come in, where we've got this thought management strategy and we separate from that voice. So the voice that says, Scott, you can wait to send the email, or Scott, you can wait to quit making those phone calls, is the enemy. And we really need to know how to sort and qualify our thoughts so that we can take action quicker.
That's really good. I love that. That's really take action, start making things happen, and you'll see it a lot better versus procrastination. And so many people procrastinate. I want to ask you a question here, because in our line of work with what we do, and those that are listening out there, I'm a pretty even. It's about 52% men, 49% women that listen to our audience. Mm-hmm. When it comes to actually the investing side, it's a lot more heavily skewed toward the male. It's male dominated, especially with reaching out to asset managers at banks and things and stuff like that. And I tell women actually have an easier time reaching out to men to get the stuff done. But what kind of things do you see or you talk about to help women overcome that inner mind game that they often play with themselves? I mean, everybody does. I'm not just saying it's relied on women, but a lot of people come, I'm not good enough, or they're not going to ever talk to me, or I can't get anything close. What are some of the things that you like to work with people to help them break through that glass ceiling with?
Yeah. So what I coach to is called my sabotage management plan, and it works for both men and women. So in both of my platforms, Foundation to Sustainable Success and Big Voices, I introduce this, where when we come up with our preferred method of sabotage and we create a plan around it, and we actually, instead of keeping it hidden, we share it with everybody. So like, I'm going to openly tell you right now, I am a recovering perfectionist and I relapse on a regular basis. I'm going to watch this video later and be like, what'd you do to your hair? Whatever it is. Like, we all have something that we're going through. But when we identify what it is, we will see that it's just a pattern that's run since we were very young. Our frontal lobe kicks in somewhere around age 7, right around there. And we start to simulate and we start to overthink the potential outcomes. And the downside about the way that our brain works is that it normally goes worst case or best case, but we ruminate on the worst case. And so what we do is we think about all of the possible ways that, this person's not going to like us or this or that. And we can remove that from our life if we learn how to do one simple thing. And this is really what success comes down to.
Hang on a second. This is an important thing. I'm going to give you a drum roll on this one. Okay. Hang on.
All right. Yay. It's just, how do we get ourselves to do the things that we know we should be doing when we don't feel like it? And if somebody says, what separates you? It's simple. I don't ask myself how I feel anymore. I just don't. I'm just so disciplined in every aspect of my life, including adventure and celebration, because it's not about just working. I have to be disciplined about my self-care. I have to be disciplined about going on adventure and traveling and experiencing new things. But, for women, some of our preferred methods of sabotage are actually very similar to men. So lack of confidence in people shows up, but it shows up differently. So when women are actually insecure, we become really controlling. And when men are struggling with that, they disappear and they retreat. And so we just handle these things differently. And when you really get to the root of what might be going on underneath the surface, and you start to think about, like, when did this start? Maybe, Scott, it was your teacher in 5th grade that embarrassed you for asking questions. And so now you don't like to ask questions. Well, asking questions is probably the way that you've created a lot of your business. You ask questions that other people weren't willing to ask, and you push past things that other people weren't willing to push past. And so when you really want it hard enough, you start to figure out, like, what is in the way, not only externally, but what's in the way internally? What are the blocks that might be preventing me from getting to that next place? Time management, perfectionism, that desire to please other people and worrying about what other people believe, procrastination. There is a long list. I go into them on my website. There's a blog on there that's under this, and you can print, a sabotage management strategy sheet. And when you go through this and you're like, wow, that shows up actually every morning at like 8:30 when I'm in line at Starbucks. Like, I'm wondering if these people are looking at me, or whatever, wherever it starts. And you're able to then really get to this place where that voice, like whatever that distraction is, no longer has the power in your life that it did before. And it's pulling it out of the darkness. That's the secret.
I love that. That's so good. The self-sabotage voice talking to us, telling us.
Yeah,
That
just separate.
Just got to basically give the stiff arm. Get out of the
way.
Yeah.
Or thank it even. Like, I appreciate you. And that's one of the things that's difficult, is that many of us want to slay it, right? We want it to go away. And in my life, spending 15 years studying psychology and neuroscience and mindfulness and self-actualization and all of these things, my monkeys still show up. They just don't control the way that I live my life. So they're almost just in the background. Like, there's actually a wild monkey party going on right behind us right now, but it doesn't affect the fact that I'm here with you right now, being present. So you just kind of, you just move through it, and you just get that greater awareness as it shows up.
We've all got a box of monkeys in our head.
Yeah, some people have a whole zoo, let me tell you, being in this industry.
But that's so true. And I think a lot of people, when they come over as entrepreneurs, they come over from a job, a job, where they've had somebody tell them exactly what to do, how to think, when to show up, when to leave, when to take lunch, and they get into the entrepreneurial game. A lot of those monkeys come flooding in because they don't have those parameters they built. They don't have those habits, those systems that they do to overcome things, right?
Yeah. And being an entrepreneur, I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, am I capable of self-management? Am I capable of self-discipline, which is going to get me through the seasons that I don't feel like doing the things that I know I should be doing? And if you don't possess those two things, it's going to be really difficult, because nobody else is going to be there. And what you really want when you work for somebody else is someone else to blame. That's why so many people stay stuck in employment for so long, is that they want to blame somebody else, whether it's their company, the market, their boss, whatever it is, because Now you enter into entrepreneurship and there's no option. Like, you're looking in the mirror. If the money's not coming in or the clients aren't showing up, there's only one reason for that, and that's you. And, my friend Christopher Lockhead, I don't know if you've ever read any of his stuff, but he wrote the book Niche Down. And when he talks about entrepreneurship, he says, like, it's not an option for a lot of people because they can't work for somebody else. Like, they can't. They absolutely can't be accountable. They can't, subscribe to somebody else's vision. And if you fall into that box, then you either have to make that decision, like you are all in and you're going to work on who you're being. If you choose not to work on who you're being and you only focus on what you're doing, you will limit the success and potential that you have in life.
That's so true. So true out there. I think of people that struggle in the workforce. I'm like, dude, when are you going to quit your job? Because you'd be much happier calling your own shots versus complaining or button heads all the time.
Yeah. But it's that need for certainty that a lot of people have. They have, we want that safety. And that's a block that many of us have. We may have been raised in an environment where, the money didn't flow. I was fortunately raised by parents that were entrepreneurs, and better yet, I was raised by a mother that literally, like, confidence was not an issue. There was no other option in our home other than to be confident and resilient. So, we just all come from different backgrounds. And so you've got to you've got to first and foremost believe that you can create whatever mindset you believe is going to move you forward. Like, you may have a mindset today, but trust me, you can shift that mindset and become somebody completely different over a period of time. It's going to take work, but it's absolutely possible.
And I love that you say that, because I think this is a time of year a lot of people struggle with that because of the holidays, the emotions that come along with it, the trying to keep up with, what our parents taught us about the holidays. I got to have 12 trees, or I got to have these perfectly wrapped gifts, or I've got to make the perfect dinner for my family, stuff like that. Or I've got to figure out something, that I want to accomplish next year because I failed this year, with my goals. And I think I had a very good friend of mine tell me a long time ago, look, if you ever want to get somewhere, start visualizing what that looks like. Start visualizing what you want to be doing. What is it? What do you look like? What are you doing on a daily basis? And write it down in detail. And the minute I started doing that, I'm like, wait a sec, I could tweak a couple things and start seeing the ends start showing up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the goal planning space now for 20 years, and I've done it all. From, vision planning to goal planning to, manifestation work, etc. And truly what I believe it boils down to is having the daily disciplines that before you start giving yourself to other people, that you put yourself first. And so my morning ritual is concrete. I review my goals every single morning. I think most people, the 5% of people that we believe do goals in a business plan, I think they do them, but they don't embody them. They miss one major piece that this is definitely what I coach on, which is not only do you need to know the goal and the plan, you need to know exactly what help you need in order to be able to reach it. And you need to be vulnerable enough to ask for it. And so whether that's connecting with people or, like you might tell somebody like, hey, if you know any asset managers that are XYZ, that kind of thing, I would love for you to share, my information with them, whatever that looks like. And you've got to embody it every day. And it's more than just the plan or the goals. It's cultivating the right mindset that's going to help you reach them.
But I love what you said. You've got to be open to asking for help, though.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are control freaks or try to do it all themselves, that's the hardest thing, is being vulnerable enough to say, hey, I can't accomplish this myself. I really need help. But I think it's what separates those from successful from those that still are struggling. Those that are successful, the ones that they not delegating, but they're asking for help. They're finding the right people to help them out accomplish things, right?
Yeah. And when we hold on to things so tight, we think it's the reason why we're successful. And what I want to give everybody, just, try it, is let go and surrender more and see what else opens up. Because there's a way to push yourself to success. And then there's a way to flow to success. And flowing to success feels much different. It's literally just in this space where like opportunity comes at you. You don't even have to, go out there and really seek it as much. So if you know that you want these, types of people to come into your business, all of a sudden the introductions, like with us, Scott, it's like, my vision is to impact millions of people across the world. And so having people tell other people about, my movement and the strategies that I bring type A people that need more inner peace, which I was there with everybody else. I'm not going to a 10-day silent meditation retreat to find my inner, whatever woo woo. It's just not going to happen. Like I'm still coming to work every day and crushing it. I just experienced that much differently than I did before.
That's good stuff there. We got some fans out there. We got some applause from Laura. Matt Reed says, yikes, but awesome. Claudia says, amazing interview guest. Awesome. Carl's Reinvestors. Hand clapping. Laura says, unquestionably unemployable. Yeah, Laura Blanc, I would agree with that there too. And people watching from the East Coast to the West Coast. Wayne Brendenstein up in up Pacific Northwest, people in Seattle, all over the place. That's good. So
don't forget, Scott, don't forget I'm a perfectionist. So if there's anything negative, just, let's just avoid it completely. All right.
Totally. No negative. This is a negative-free zone.
I'm just kidding.
If they're confident, they're not going to be commenting long. All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
But let's talk about that big voice, because I love movements. I love what you're doing with that. I spent some time researching and talking about that. Why don't you share a bit more about your passion for that?
Yeah, I've been in mortgage now for 20 years. My first book came out in 2017, which was Foundation to Sustainable Success. But I had this calling in my life that I wanted to help more women awaken, and awaken because I believe that we're really struggling, and it's actually impacting the men and the children in our lives, because although we've broken the glass ceiling, we haven't learned how to navigate this in partnership. We're still holding on to the majority of child rearing responsibilities. We're still controlling consumer spending. We just haven't let go of a lot of the things that we need to. And I believe that we've got to write new rules. And the ugly truth is child obesity is at its highest level. Adult obesity is, women are complaining that they're not sleeping at night. We're suffering from more Western disease than we ever have before. And I think the stress is manifesting in so many different ways. And like I said before, when we're insecure or out of balance, we become controlling. And then that leads to, the breakdown of relationships as well. And I'm not saying that we own everything. Men have their work to do as well. I'll get the big voices for men out here in the next bit. But it's just about finding our authenticity, like really feeling like I can be present when I'm at work. I'm not thinking about my kids. And when I'm with my kids, I'm not thinking about work. And we've got to learn new strategies in order to be able to do that. And so through Big Voices, I share how to manage emotional triggers, how to create this thought management strategy, and really decipher what your big voice, which is your highest, most authentic, powerful, feminine warrior, whatever you want to call her, from that little voice, which is your ego or the enemy, or, whatever you want to refer to that as. And as we sort and qualify that, we show up different. And I believe the reason why many women aren't in powerful positions is because we believe that our life's going to get worse if we are. It's not because we're not qualified. And I think we need more feminine power in the workplace. It brings something different. I lead from my feminine, which is very nurturing and collaborative and connected. Now, it doesn't mean I don't use my masculine sometimes to get projects done or whatnot, but I definitely lead from that. And I think as women, we are putting masks on. We're leading with our masculine in order to be more successful, and we don't have to do things that way. So just passionate about helping women, because I think that we are so powerful that the ripple effect of us standing strong is going to impact the entire world.
I would agree to that there too. I was watching something about a lack of female mentors out there as well a while back, that there's a huge gap in that. I mean, that there's a lot of guy mentors out there, but it's not the same thing as having a woman executive, somebody climbing up or trying to grow things. And we see it in our space too. I'm planning a online convention, and I always try to keep it 50-50, men speakers to women speakers. I'm like, I'm just like, I'm encouraging the women speakers.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, there's a need for that. You have an ability to connect with other people that I could never connect with. And that's an important thing out there to get the message out what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And I mean, even like the state of California just recently passed a law to require more women to be on boards because it was so low. And we are influential. And, we need to be just as qualified as the men that are seeking these positions. And we also need to understand, the unintended consequence of the Me Too movement is that men are afraid to engage with female coworkers. Like, again, we've just, we need to take the initiative as companies. Here at Loanpal, we actually have a women mentoring program with coaching that I get an opportunity to run and really be able to help people know how to engage in a way that's, acceptable. And it's all over the news. I mean, recently, just in the last couple of days, just as women are speaking up, there is this other underbelly of what's going on, which is men are going to be afraid to mentor women, and then we're going to lose out. So we've got to rewrite these rules, and it's going to start at the top. It's going to start with owners, executives, other people, making it mission critical that they have an open environment that supports both the growth of men and women. And also just that we do want to have babies, and we need to equally distribute some of that amongst men and women so that we both have a fair shot.
Good stuff. That's really great stuff out there. Questions from anybody out there? Get a lot of applause, a lot of likes, got some love from our Facebook audience out there, everybody. Because we do, for those that are listening online and on iTunes and Stitcher, all the podcast platforms, you can always watch the replay videos because Kelley is delivering some great nuggets out here on WeCloseNotes.tv or our YouTube channel as well out there. What's some advice that you want to give to women that are struggling this time of year right now or looking to make that jump to entrepreneur, Kelley?
I would say just choose. It just starts, and this is for the men and women listening, choose to create the life that you know that you're destined to. And for me, as I shared, Scott, it just included more ands. I can run a company and be a writer and a speaker and an impact person in the world. And so you can create whatever vision that you want. And it's going to start with writing a new story, getting your goals done, getting your business plan done on both of my websites, which is bigvoicesrise.com and then FTSS4success.com. I have goal planning, business planning, sabotage management tools, thought management tools, every imaginable tool between those two that are going to be able to support you in doing that. And of course, if you pick up a copy of the books as well, it will help you. And I think it's just believing in yourself that you can create, like literally you can create whatever life you choose to. So you need to quit wanting, you need to quit needing, and you need to start creating. And with that, it's just going to come, focus and intention and working on yourself.
I love that. What's the best way for people to reach out to you? Is it bigvoicesrise.com, the website, or your email, or what's the best way for people to tap in?
Hey, you can definitely email me at Kelley@KelleyResendez.com. And, I definitely, have a coaching and training company as well. Be happy to chat with you. But both of my websites, again, have blogs. I try to publish video weekly with just tips of creating abundance. And right now at this time of the year, go against the grain. Everyone else is going to be slowing down. This is the time that you definitely want to be speeding up.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you have some event plans, anything like that out there up in the upcoming future for people to tap into as well?
Yeah. So I will be having a webinar that is a goal planning webinar that's going to be coming out soon. So we'll get you details on that, and maybe you could just send it out. But, our Big Voices, our first Big Voices for Women event is going to be summer 2019. So I'll have some big name speakers there as well, but nothing date-wise confirmed.
Okay, no problem. We'll keep an eye out for that. Once again, everybody go to bigvoicesrise.com or Kelley at KelleyResendez.com. That's Resendez with a Z at the end, not an S. Something just in case maybe spells it wrong. Kelley Resendez with a Z at the end. Kelley, thank you so much for joining us on this Monday afternoon. I know you're busy just like everybody is, but hey,
Yeah,
thanks
and
for being here. Love
absolutely,
the message.
Scott. And I love that you're so committed to, making a difference in your industry as well.
And we try
Awesome.
to. We have a big thing. We have a thing called WIN, and we call it Women in Notes. And
Oh, that's awesome.
there's a lot of opportunity out there. We see it as being gender neutral here because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The borrowers don't care if you're a male investor or a female investor.
Yeah.
The money's the same, and I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for people to take advantage of. And it's sometimes we have the mind blocks that hold us back, or
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. For everybody, everybody's got something. It's a matter of how they overcome that and take action to start doing some things. So
Yeah. And just living that in spite of life. We all have something. We all have a story, but in spite of it, you can create whatever success you want.
Exactly. We got some questions. Laura asked, do your books have audio versions as well?
The audio version of Big Voices is going to be out in December of this year. If you sign up for my blog at bigvoicesrise.com, we will notify you the minute that the audiobook comes out.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And for those that are listening, you can go to our website, weclosenotes.com, click on those links as well. We'll have everything posted for you to reach out there, and a link to the book as well. So Kelley, once again, thank you so much for being on the show today. Appreciate it.
It's been wonderful. Great way to start the week.
Amen to that. We'll talk to you later. All righty.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, guys and gals, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Note Closer Show. Just like I said before, go out, take action. You're going to find out that you don't have to pick either or. You can pick either and really make some changes in your life for 2019. And why wait till then? Start taking action now to have success taking place before the year is out. So go out, make something happen, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.